Because of styles, people are separated. They are not united together because styles became law.
So you tell me there is people looking at me just behind this camera? Nice to meet you. This is my first video in English, so I hope you're going to be tolerant with me, because I don't know if my English isn't as good to be understood by everybody. So we're going to talk about this tree that I really love, because you have a very long time story. It's coming from Taiwan. I took from cuttings in my pockets when I was working with Shenzhen in Tianwei, in the southwest of Taiwan, and I forgot the cuttings in my pocket, and when I took the plane, go back to my home, and then I realized that I got these cuttings in my pocket, and I don't know if they're gonna grow, but I put them in the ground. I have 5 at that time. 2 only survived, this one and another 3 I have in my garden, and then I started to do it in cosmic style in 2009. It was in November 2009. So time for the cuttings to grow. I started really this tree in like July, August of 2010. So since I grow these cuttings in a pot, in a plastic pot, a small plastic pot, then I started to put it in a wood box, and slowly by slowly I just wire it like you see every year. I try to make new branches and new branches like the cosmic style. So I started to grow the branches like you see with the wire inside, and I try to make more and more movement. So inside you can see like whole branches that become trunks. And like I said all the time, the cosmic style is not about trying to make only one line with the trunk and all the branches around, like the Japanese style, that we try to make every branches look like a trunk. Always in the cosmic style, you try to make a tree like growing in another planet. So we try to make things that doesn't exist on Earth. So doing this, you just follow your creation, your imagination, and slowly by slowly, you can see that it become crazy things like this. And from the start, I have a base, you can see here. It's like not a kind of normal neighborly. So because I'm growing always in a bigger box, I started to put this one in a very higher box that I built to make hair roots, and then have a tree like growing in the hair. My goal was to put a rocks inside of the roots, that like in the Avatar movie.
You have a strong heart.
But finally, I just kept the roots like this. I wanted to have the same physical statement.
Doesn't make any sense.
On the bottom and on top. So you will see when we're gonna discover this box that I built like 2 years ago. You can see 2022. We are in 2024. So slowly by slowly, I'm gonna unbuild this box, and then you're gonna see the hair roots in the hair, and then I'm gonna build another wood box on the bottom. Then we can have the roots in the hair. Discover them slowly by slowly. So the state is like
Of the United States of America.
we're gonna take out the wires that we can see that is everywhere. Then we're gonna select the foliage. You can see that we have all foliage inside, and we're gonna keep the strong foliage outside. Like you can see here, this is very strong foliage, and this is how we wire again. And we can choose all to make new branches, or just cut the top of the branch, and then we're gonna have compact foliage at the top, and then we can start to build the bonsai. But this bonsai is very special, So I don't want to keep the Taiwanese foliage. I want to put Itoigawa foliage to have more compact branches. So this tree is going to be released in 2030. And for now, I don't have the pots.
You're the famous pepper pots.
Indeed, I am.
So I'm gonna ask one of my friends to build the pots. So actually, we're just gonna take out the wire. This is the first step, and then we're gonna hand build the box and build another one. We're gonna put some sticks inside of the new box to keep the branches on the top, because as you see, when the branches are growing too high, this is the problem of the cosmic style. They are going down because they are too heavy for themselves because of the foliage and because of the wire. So we keep the branch on the hair with a stick inside to keep the movement of the branch. And later on, we cut the top, and then we have a compact foliage, and then the branch keep the place. You have to understand that in cosmic style, that every branches we wire keep the movement we deserve, and it's very important. So it's very complicated for people to understand the cosmic style because they want to control everything.
Okay, but I got a question. How long does it take for the branches to stay in place?
So for a branch, it takes it depends of the size of the branch, but for the trunk, for example, here, you can see here, all the movement I've done, it took me like 10 years to arrive to that point. But a branch like this, from a straight branch, it can take only like 3 or 4 years. That's not that much. And then we do some scars, and the scars help to keep the movement. Because if you are with a soft branch like this, if you don't do some scars, and the center of the trunk doesn't dry, so the branch doesn't keep the place, or the trunk. Because it's complicated with cosmic style to speak about trunk or branches, because branches are becoming trunks, because it's several words inside of one word. So that's why we just grow the branch like straight ones like this, then we put some wires, we give some movements, and then we let it grow again and again. And when we are satisfied, then we just cut the top again, and then we have the clouds. In Japanese style, everybody try to make a cloud looking like a triangle. In cosmic style, we don't try to make a unique triangle. We make several triangles inside. So the most important is like to make a crazy tree, just like growing another planet. So it's very complicated for people to understand the process. But the process finally is very simple. You just grow it and grow it and grow it. Put some wire, take out the wire, do some scars, and just be surprised. And one day you do the final shape. Yeah, now just gonna take out the wire slowly by slowly. Imagine on this tree, like I've done this like several times. Like I said, these cuttings are coming from Chenjian Gardens, one of his trees. And so 2009, 2024, it's like 15 years ago I started this tree. And I think this tree is going to be finished in some point, because bonsai is never finished, like Benoki said already, like everybody said all the time, that bonsai is never finished. And especially with cosmic style, because we are never satisfied. We don't try to make a final shape. You can see here the difference between a movement we created here and a straight branch. So we can choose to continue to make another movement forever, or we can choose to just cut here and then make the final shape, like the top with the clouds and other branches around. But like I said already, this one is previous to be grafted with Itoigawa, so it's gonna take me longer, because I have to compare to a classic tree. I just have to graft from the top, or the branches on the bottom, and then I'm gonna make a shape very easily. But here I have to graft every top of the branches in movement, so it represents like hundreds and hundreds of graftings everywhere. So then when the grafting are done, then I can make the clouds. So it's gonna take forever, but it's okay. Because in cosmic style, the most pleasure you have is growing the trees. It's not like trying to have a finished trees. For exhibition, I mean. So it's a fastidious work, but the result is always amazing. You will understand when we're gonna unbox the tree and we're gonna put it in a new box, how crazy it is inside, and the pleasure we have to make it every year. Something I wanted to precise that is very important. This tree is very important for me because as I say, these cuttings are coming from Chenjian garden. Chenjian master is like the best master of junipers I've ever seen in the world. Like to me, is even better than Kimura. And I know people are gonna jump on their pants, but really, this guy is crazy because he taught me how to just break the trees. Like the trees are, you know, broken by mountains, by the wind, by the snow, by the rocks in nature, and that's what makes the trees are getting better and better. And that's what we don't understand in bonsai. We try to make a final shape too fast, and then working with him is like he revealed like my way of doing bonsai today. I don't try to make something easy and fast. I take my time, and it takes very long time to do this kind of trees. And especially now we have a throat cancer, and he's probably gonna die this year or maybe next year. He's sick for years now because of insecticides and pesticides in Taiwan that they use so much. And sadly, I don't have time to go to Taiwan. I don't have the money to go to Taiwan. And by this video, I want to thank him to all the knowledge he gave to me, and the spirituality of the way he was doing bonsai, and thanks Chenjian, really. I know you will probably never see this video, but thanks to you. So sometimes I just take out the branches here that are stuck inside of the wire, because I know in the future they will not be at the right place. And as you can see in the cosmic style, we have several branches, so we can imagine that everything we grow inside, we can choose any branches anywhere to make a new movement. So we always have too much branches in the cosmic style, so we just choose the right ones for the future. For example, you can see here you have a very weak branch. You know, this one I've grown very strong because the top is very strong, but this one is weak, so this one we don't need for the future because she will never recover. Or if I want this one to recover, I have to wire it on top and then down this one, but it doesn't make sense for the future. So whatever you do, you just follow the tree, the weakness of the tree and the strength of the tree, and always choose the strength of the tree. You just follow the line. That's very important.
All right. And is it important that the branches are marked by the wires?
So as you can see here, there is some marks in the branches that has been done by the wire, that it stayed for too long. Many people are very stressed about that because they heard about that the trees don't have to get some marks on the branch. It doesn't look good. But in the cosmic style, it doesn't matter, because as you can see here, we are creating some scarifications that you can make it disappear, and slowly by slowly the tree recover by himself. And it's always a question of growth. And because the cosmic style, we don't try to cut everything to make a shape, that we grow everything all the time. Everything can recover slowly by slowly, but of course it takes a long time to grow it, but it doesn't matter. The most important in the cosmic style is that the branch keep the movement you gave. That's very important. And later on, when we'll have taken out all the wire, we will show you some branches that are not enough strong to keep the place, and then we just put a stick inside with an adhesive around, and then to keep the branch exactly at the place we want for the future, and then we just grow the top, and then this trunk is going to be like the double size or the triple size, and then it's going to keep the place exactly the way we want, and then we're going to cut the top again to make the final project. But really, we have to understand that the marks in a bonsai branch is not important as long as you know how to grow a tree. This is really a stress you don't have to get. You know, it's a stress like I don't understand why people are so stressful about marks on the branches, but it's like something they have to change to be more relaxed in the future. So this is another point very interesting, that for now, as you can see, inside of this tree there's no deadwood and there's no gin. So actually, with this kind of trees that we are growing so many branches and so many future trunks, that sometimes you just create some branches that you know you're going to sacrifice in the future. So for example, this one is not a branch that I do to have the foliage on the top. It's not going to be part of the clouds. So this branch is specially made in the middle of the tree just to prepare a future deadwood. That's why I never cut the top. I let it grow very, very, very big, because this year I'm gonna stop the top of every branches, because I want to slow down to make the foliage more compact, because as I told you, in the future I'm gonna graft it with Itoigawa, so it's gonna be a final product. But some branches, some rare, that I choose slowly by slowly, but this one from the start I choose like to make a big deadwood in the middle. So this branch is going to be like the triple or 4 times the size it is actually, and in the future I'm going to sacrifice it. I'm going to take out the bark, and I'm going to make a huge deadwood in the middle of the trunk. So you can prepare also deadwood in the future, not only that one, probably many others, but for now it's a lot of foliage, but then you are creating your deadwood by yourself. And as in the classic style, some people just do a sacrifice of a branch, so they have just a small stick, very straight, with a short branch with no movement. In this kind of tree that you grow for years, that you can choose like many genes and shari that you can prepare for the future, that's going to be like crazy deadwood. Very, very good ones, not very straight, with a lot of movement. And this one has been prepared from the start to be a big deadwood in the middle of the tree, as you can see here. But for now it's very young, because all the strength is going to the other branches. But once I'm going to slow down the other branches and the other tops of the tree, then this one is going to be much bigger, and it's going to be like very, very huge. And when I'm going to take out the bark, it's going to be a very, very good deadwood in the middle. And another thing I didn't speak about is, like in the video you can have the smell, but the smell of junipers is very amazing. You know, like most of junipers like smell like the pee of the cat.
Say what? 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 What?
And everybody says that when they are working on junipers. But Taiwanese juniper, I'm going to explain later what is Taiwanese juniper. People's like are misunderstanding all the time. But this species of junipers is the smell is very, very good. It smells like, you know, incense, or yeah, it's very good smell. You know, it's impossible to explain. You have to work on them. So another point is, like, everybody make a mistake. They call it Taiwan juniper. You have to understand that Taiwanese junipers are growing on the top of the mountains in Taiwan. It's like 2,500 meters high, I think, something like that, 2,700 maybe. The real Taiwan juniper that is growing in the mountain, it doesn't have this kind of foliage. This one is close to the Sargenti, Japanese Sargenti. The real Taiwanese juniper that is growing on the mountains is a needle juniper, just like blue foliage with needles. Nothing to do with that. It's impossible for Taiwanese to bring it back to the coast, because on the coast it's tropical. So Taiwan is very special because on the coast it's tropical. So you need to grow some junipers that can stand the heat. The story of what people so-called the Taiwanese juniper is a fake. In Taiwan they call it just Junipers chinensis. Junipers chinensis is like all the junipers are called junipers chinensis, most of them, I mean. And finally, they don't know the real story of what everybody called the Taiwanese juniper. It's probably a cross between Sargenti with Chinese spacey, and that they mixed together for years, and then it became what so people call the Taiwanese juniper. But it doesn't exist nowhere except in Taiwan, because the real Taiwanese juniper, what is called Junipers chinensis Taiwanese, is like Formosa, or like Junipers Formosa. It's growing in the mountain. It has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. And most of people think that it can't stand the cold. I'm living in the north of France, and you can see that it's very healthy, and it can stand like -5 or -6 degree. I think it can't stand 10 or 15 degree. It doesn't like the very low temperatures, but it can stand -5 or 6 with no problem, as you can see here.
Well, now tell me, how do you grow your junipers?
I never answer about the way I grow my trees, because I know everybody have this kind of soil. I talk about this in the volume 2 of my book, in the Cosmic Bonsai, and I said that everybody have his own recipe. So this is very complicated, because people are living in the north, people are living in tropical countries, some people are living in a temperate country. So it's very hard to say you have to use this soil, this substrate, this kind of fertilizer, and because everybody, it depends also about if you are rich or not. Because if you are poor, I was doing bonsai when I was a student, and I didn't have any money, so I used the most cheap soil I could find in the market, or even sometimes I was using the ground in my garden. And so actually this tree, I'm talking about only this tree. So, since I grew it from cuttings from Taiwan, as I said, in 2009, and I grew it always in pumice. Pumice is like a volcano soil coming from Italian mountains. It's a very soft ground. You can see here, it's white, and the good thing with this soil is it's pretty hard. At the same time, if you push it with your fingers, it can break. So it's soft at the same time. So it's hard and soft at the same time, but it doesn't go to like mud in the future, because if your roots always need some air to grow fast. So you need some water and air. So when you water it, the water has to go through the roots and go down to the bottom of your pot and go away very, very fast. So I use it, but doesn't mean it's the best soil you can use. It's the way I use it. In some other trees, I use completely different soils. So the best for me is like pumice is pretty easy. It's not very expensive. It's like €20 for 25 kilo. But again, it depends on what you live, which country you live. This video is in English, so probably it's going to be heard by many people all over the world. So I don't want to influence them about anything, because always soils, fertilizer, it's only a question of business. Business. And market. So people want to sell something, they're going to tell you it's the best, and it's fucking logic. And I have nothing to say about that. If you want to sell your tools, you're going to say, hey, my tools are the best. So if you want to sell your fertilizer, you're going to say my fertilizer are the best. But to me, it's just a question. You have to live with your tree. You have to feel what it needs, really. And then you're going to have the answer. He will give you the answer. If you give it the wrong soil every seasons, then he's going to talk to you. He's going to talk to you by his foliage, by his trunk, by his roots, and he got the answer. All the rest is just a question of business. And I don't have soil to sell, so I don't give a shit, personally.
I don't give a shit.
And especially do what your tree needs.
Wait, baby. Explain me, why do you take off the seeds from your juniper?
It's because the young guy is behind the camera who forced me to do this video.
Do it!
he's a young brewmaster, and he wanted to make some gin, and I think it's gonna be like the first gin made with juniper seeds from Taiwan juniper.
Now you take a little glass of gin like this, please.
I don't know, maybe Taiwan is not doing gin already, but I have no idea. But it's gonna be very interesting to do the first gin made with cosmic bonsai juniper, especially from Taiwan, and it's gonna be funny. So I keep all the seeds, and when we're gonna have enough in stock, we're gonna sell some alcohol, or we're gonna drink it for ourselves. I don't know. I think we're gonna drink it we're gonna keep it for us, I think. So the same question people ask me all the time: what are you doing with the wire, that you take out from the trees? And the answer is easy. You see, I put them here on the ground, and every time I restraight them and I reuse them all the time. I try to recycle the most I can, because it's pretty expensive, and aluminum have the ability compared to the copper. The copper, when it's become hard, it's very hard to restraight. So you have to cut it and sell it, or just throw it. Aluminium, you can reuse it all the time. As you can see here, it's like full of movement, and you just put it on your fingers, and it's pretty easy to restrict. As you can see, it's a small size, so it's like one and a half, I think. Yeah, it's 1.5. So you cannot do this with this is number 3, for example. So number 3, you have to use some tools. You can do it slowly by slowly, because when it's getting warm and warm, it's more easy to restrict. But the best is to use a stick, and then you go over the stick, and then it's getting straight again, and then you just put it like that, and then you can use it again. But I love aluminium much more than copper. I know everybody says like it's because of the Japanese school or Italian school that you have to use copper for conifers and you have to use aluminium for deciduous trees, but I don't believe in it. I use aluminium in all of my trees because, first of all, it's, as I say, it's very easy to recycle, and second, you can give more movement because of the flexibility of the aluminium. With the copper, it's very, very hard to give this kind of movement to a branch. But I know in Japanese style you don't need to give this kind of movement, so I understand why. Because with the copper, you have a smaller size of the wire, so you can put the branch down straight. But as long as you give movement in the cosmic style, aluminium is the best, and it's cheaper also. So it's all benefits for you. So if any aluminium company wants to make business with me, as long as I promote them for 20 years, I would be happy to get some money from them. So just contact me. Thank you very much. Sometimes when I want to move a branch to another, sometimes it's more easy to put string between a branch to another because it doesn't hurt the trunk, especially when you have a big tension. So most part of the time I use a string like this, and when I don't need it anymore, I just cut it, like you can see here. And again, if it's in a strong, I can recycle it and use it again from a branch to another. So this is very useful. So sometimes when you want to move a branch close to another one, so it's better than put a wire that it hurt the branch very deep inside of the bark. So you just take the string. I'm going to put the scissors down. You just put the string here and here. So if you want this movement to go close to this movement, you just attach them together here, and then you can keep it for more longer than a wire. So I use it all the time in most of my junipers. It's very useful. Changing in technique again. He taught me that. So now, as you can see, we just took out all the wire out of the tree. So the next step, we're gonna take out the screw out of the box, and then we're gonna uncover the roots. As you can see, there is some nails inside to maintain the branch down to the box. So we're gonna take it out. As you can see, down they are free. So this is helping to have low branches. Imagine these branches in the future is going to be grafted on the roots that are downing to the bottom of the pot. So next step, we're going to show you a small review now. We're going to take out the first screw. You can see here the date is April 2022. So this tree has been in this box for 2 years. So I think now it's ready like to be uncovered. I'm gonna show you the first roots. It's a discovery for me too, so I can't wait for it. Wow. So, as you can see here, that's a very good news. You have what we are looking for is not small branches like this, with small roots, sorry, like this. We are looking for big roots. This one is there. So here is big roots, here is big roots. So it's very good news that we're gonna have some big news are going down to the soil. So I'm very happy with that.
Something in my pocket. Keep a lot of folks alive. Now,
as we said first, we're gonna take out, as you can see, there is many branches that are down to make future movements that I'm gonna graft to the roots. As you can see here, in the future, I'm gonna graft this one to that one. But for now, you can see the good news, there is some good big roots. Inside you have big roots like that. Can you imagine inside the size they're gonna have? And as you can see, it's very compact. So it's only 2 years in this box, so I'm very happy. And so now we're gonna continue the unboxing. So let's turn this box. Okay. And it's like a kit for Christmas. It's fucking cool. Oh my god. So it's okay? Got it? Yeah. So here you have good wood for the chimney. So it's like me, you use a chimney for whatever. What I wanted to say. So here you can see that I'm very happy because it's very full of roots. Even it's moving from the top. Here, as you can see, this is very cool because it's moving from here. So that is the movement is only from the base of the trunk because of the flexibility of the roots. But if you move, it's moving like a block. Here you can see, even when I move at the top, it's moving very, very slow here. So it means that it's full of huge roots, and I'm very happy with that. So we're gonna uncover this with water. Now you can see completely unboxed. So here this is a complete block of roots, so it's very cool because it means that it's full of huge roots inside. And tomorrow we're gonna create a new box here, and we're gonna put some sticks all over the box to keep the tree in the air, to give the time to the roots to become stronger while they are in the air, to get the sun and getting stronger. And inside of the low box that we're gonna build, Also, we're going to put some iron sticks inside that we can keep all the branches that are downing, exactly what I was explaining before, up, so they can grow on the movement we gave from the start. Because, as I said, as we are growing with long branches with the cosmic style, sometimes they don't have the time to become enough strong to support their own weight. So then we use some sticks.
Using best gold chopsticks.
Chopsticks?
And with adhesive we put on the sticks from the box, and then we grow the top enough longer that she can keep, that the branches can keep their own weight. So there's a lot like this. You can see there is this one, there is this one, there is this one, there is many all over. This one can keep her weight, you see, it's cool, but it's finished already. So now we're gonna take out all the old leaves. So that's very cool to know. Whole leaves here, you can see they're very weak, and when they are strong, they have like full. I don't know how to say that in English. They have well, there you can see they are strong. This is a weak one here, and this is a strong one. More you go to the top, more they are stronger. You can see this is very slim, and this is very heavy. You can see difference between that one and that one. It's very clear. So selection of the branch is the same as we are growing with cosmic style. We don't keep that much branches. We keep always the strongest one, and we take out all the wicks. So if you want to keep the strong part here, it's very easy with your fingers. You just take them out like this, and you just keep the strong part. Again, this is strong compared to a weak one, but it's always the low branches are always weaker than the top branches. You can see here very easily. Even you can recognize a weak branch because she doesn't flowering, and you can see a lot of flowers are coming here, all the yellow parts, and it's very strong. So then when we have made the selection with the finger, we can also make the selection with the scissors. So same, how do I select this? It's up to you, because you are the guy who decide where you're going to grow some branches. So probably I'm going to grow a new one here, and this is going to be the top of my branch, so I don't need all the low branches. And especially I keep only the strong ones. That's very easy to understand. When you look back at the tree, you can imagine that all the small branches, all the trunks you see inside and the branches you see inside are coming from a small branches like this. It just, then you have to wire it and let it grow, and wire it and let it grow, and it never ending the process until the day you make the shape. Then you go back to kind of Japanese way, because that's the process how the trees are growing on Earth. Except that with this style you have to make your tree look like it's growing on another planet. So if anybody tell you with the cosmic style that your tree look natural, another seed for my friend Nathan to make some gin, he's gonna be happy. So what I was saying is, like, yeah, the difference between a classic bonsai and a cosmic bonsai is that we want our trees look unnatural. And again, unnatural on Earth, not unnatural on another planet. Yeah, that's what I want to say. If anybody tell you your tree look unnatural, you say thank you very much. That's the best compliment anybody have ever made to me. So this is the same as before. We're gonna have long time process, taking out all the old leaves and selecting the branches. Pretty long and not very interesting. As you can see, the tree is ready. We unboxed everything. So I prepared the box here, and I build some sticks all over. So as you can see, there's an iron stick here. that we are going to put on the 2 wood stick on the box to stabilize the tree in the air. Time for the roots to be as big to keep the tree stable in the air. So as you see, we prepared the box yesterday. So now we're going to put some soil inside and put the tree on it. This is the bottom of the box. As you can see, it was too slim. I made a mistake. That's why I have to rebuild another box, because normally I could have kept the ancient box, but because of this, yeah, sometimes you make mistakes also. So here it's the ancient front, but I don't like this part because it's too flat. Time for me to correct this. I'm probably going to graft a branch here, from here to here. Then I can hide this default. I'm going to choose this one as a front because the movement is better to me. As you can see here, this is very interesting. There is 2 different trunks crossing, like dragons fighting together. And as I said yesterday, this is going to be a big deadwood in the middle.
When I was a little boy, at the age of 5.
I need to put some nails to stabilize the iron bar here. Part of the iron bar. Oh, so the question is it the same principle what I'm doing than a classic bonsai when repotting in a final pot? Yeah, nearly the same, except that for this one, in the future you will have no no ground here, no soil. So it's the same principle, except that in a normal bonsai we should like cut the roots here and put the nebari in the middle of the pot. But then it's the same. You put the soil all over the roots, and you use a stick to help them to fill the space to take out the hair between the roots. But that's very classic. This is like a classic bonsai. So now we put the tree on the stand. Now we need to stabilize it, because with the wind it's going to break slowly by slowly. So I'm going to put a sticks on the wood box here, and with the sticks I'm going to stabilize the branch up to the sky, direction of the sky. I'm going to make it the same with the others, and then I can use the sticks that's going to be here to stabilize the head. We prepared some iron stick here just for that. With this scissors, I'm going to take out all the branch I don't need, and to get some space. So again, on the technique I use, it's a very small juniper compared to what I worked in Taiwan, because the size of the juniper in Taiwan, the trunk is like the size of this tree, and then you have the branch like 2 meters, 3 meters higher. And there's a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of storm, hurricane in Taiwan, so they have to stabilize the trees with adhesive and sticks. And this is how I learned these techniques, changing and again, but they use, most of Taiwanese are using it everywhere. So now you can see that you can use the same sticks from several branches. So as I have more space now to see the branch, I can take out the whole leaves. We're going to do the complete tree after, so you can see all the structure inside of the tree. As you can see, also the good thing with the cosmic style, because you are working on long branches, you can remove the branch all the time. So if you have a position here or here, later on you can put the branch wherever you want, so it's pretty cool. You can be very creative. It's like a puzzle, never-ending puzzle. One year you have the front here. Technically you don't have really fronts. I'm going to show you when the tree will be finished, that in cosmic style you don't really have some real fronts like the Japanese have. So always keep the foliage on the top, like this, because if you don't, the weak foliage under, it's going to burn. The branch takes longer time to recover. It's always better to get out the old foliage. Same, very important here. When you rewire a branch that already has been wired, you always wire the opposite of the past wire. Then you don't do 2 times the same mark.
Wondrously free.
So another point very important that I'm going to talk, because this is very long process. So here you can see I don't try to make any movement. The most important to understand that the cosmic style is people are disappointed always because they expect a final product. Like if you see a demo or demonstration with bonsai master all over the world, they have a raw material, they cut everything, and then they just make the deadwood, select the front of the tree, and then they make a triangle on it. So the cosmic style, we don't try to do this. This is the opposite. We grow the tree all the time. So don't expect at the end of the process of this tree. It's going to be shaped one day, but not for now, because I need to be satisfied about the movement, about the deadwood, and about the craziness, like a tree growing on another planet. So I don't want to, if you give this tree to a professional, they will cut 90% of the branches. Just keep one on the top and make a triangle, and it will kill the beauty of the tree. Because they don't have the habit to grow the tree. They just want to control everything all the time, and they believe this is the way to do. But I don't think it's the way to do. I think my pleasure is to grow the tree. So as you can see, like I put this branch in the air, so it can open the space already. Then I'm going to put that one, and I'm going to put that one up, and you can see now. You see the line. You see the line of the tree. So slowly by slowly, you're going to see inside. Then we're going to take out the old leaves. We're going to select the branch we're going to keep for the future, and after we're going to do the scars that you can see how I select the live end, the one I want to keep and the one I want to suppress. Yes. You have to imagine that all these things have been created from a cutting like this. So it's also a question how you feed your tree, how you invest in your tree, how much you love it at the end.
I love you, tree daddy.
So more you invest of a tree, so every tree can be a bonsai master at the end. Most part of the time, people want to buy a Yamada and they say trees have good quality or not, but it doesn't make sense because this is all handmade if you think about it. Nature. The tree is natural by itself, but it doesn't come from the mountains or from the wild. It has been handmade all the time. So it's really a relation you have with your tree all the time. It's a kind of osmotic system. You do something in the tree, is reacting, and then you let him free. Like you see this year, I'm not going to put some wire inside, just some sticks to help him to take a breath, and just do the scarification. So one year I do the scarification, I liberate all the branch from the wire. Another year I put the wire everywhere to make new movement, and then I don't do the scarification. So it's like making the tree reacting. And you see, sometimes I prepare some branch, they are weak, sometimes they are bigger, and I don't choose the place is going to grow fast. So you have to adapt yourself.
I'm adaptable.
Because, for example, what I would have to like is that this branch should have been like as strong as that one, and she's very weak. So what I can do to help her, I want to have this strength at the top of this branch, so I'm gonna slow down this one, and I'm gonna let grow that one. So this one can be bigger. You choose. People think that the tree are become. The beginners always believe that more you cut your trees, more it's going to be bigger, but this is completely wrong. If you want to make your tree getting bigger, you have to grow it freely. Very important. And when you have the branch at the right place and the trunk at the right place, then you can cut back, and then you can do the ramification, and then you have the shape people want to see, like clouds. Actually, I don't want to make some clouds. It's very easy to me to do a final tree here, but that's not what I want. What I want is to have a tree really spatial that nobody have never seen on hers. And I selected the branch, not all of it. I'm going to make it later. You can see is that all the foliage we took out, you can see on the left here. It's really important to keep only the strong part, because if you keep the whole leaves, the light doesn't go inside of the tree, so the trunk doesn't become hard faster. So putting the light inside help your tree to dry and make your trunk become stronger, and then you can also renew the foliage more easily. You have good example here about a young branch I just created like last year. You have to understand that I start from this and put a wire inside, then I take out the wire, and then it keep the form. And then later on I'm gonna take out some barks, and slowly by slowly it's gonna become like you can see here. So this is the first step here. Then we do some eyes all over. An eyes is the form of the eye, and then we open again and again and again, and it's turning all over. This one is not a good one. For example, I made it like a few years ago, but it's too flat. So what I like is when the live end are crossing the trunk like this one. It's very cool. So this is why this font actually is not beautiful, but it can move all the time, because Cosmic Style doesn't have a unique font. It can have like several fonts. So for now, for me, the most important is, like you see, these branches are flexible because they are not as big. So my future is to make it bigger. While these branches are going to grow bigger, the trunk is going to become bigger. And at the same time, I'm going to graft some Itoigawa. So it's going to be more compact in the future. We're going to use a very, very technologic and very, very, very special tools that nobody knows on this planet. A fork.
Okay, we're recording. State plan of origin? Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth or the word or another reader. It is truth. Only far off. Far off future. The truth, it's all. Is the travel in space. Different special developments. So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human. Okay, so you evolved from us. Yes. So what are you doing here now? Yourself. How? Okay, so how about we concentrate on your time? Try me. Wait, so you know the meaning of life? What's the difference? So you know how the universe is created? So you think God? Okay, illuminate us. What happens when we die? Okay, so let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right? Okay, so how was the universe created, and why is it so perfectly made for us? Moving on. Okay, so why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war? Can you be more specific, please? Okay, one last thing. What about morality? What do you base your morality on? I see. Okay, that's it. Thank you.